times when the winter comes, you have more time to think about things, and it slows down a little, and you recall something, and it piques your curiosity. And one of those things was something I wanted to challenge myself with about a method, something that I saw my father do when I was around 10 or 12 years old. And I thought, what did we do before Google? Because it seems every day we do research on Google, and it's great for the brain. It's a great tool. But I wanted to try to recall this from memory first before I used Google. And I didn't have the tool to do this. So I thought, I can remember it. So let's try to make it. Let's carve it out of wood. And then let's see what we remember about the technique before we go to Google. This is what happened. It's not perfect, but boy, you realize precious things when you challenge yourself to do something from memory. So from my beautiful wood pile, I gathered the pieces and I split it down thinner. And then I began whittling away some of the extra surface just to get it down a little more narrow for the width of the needle. Now, perhaps people, if they're using all primitive tools, would like to do the eye of the needle first so they don't shave off too much or have any breaks. And I chose to do it this way. Now, there's a big piece of fat wood on the end of this, so I'll end up feathering the stick because I don't need it that long. Now, unfortunately, it's not coming in as clear, and I thought I would make a mini short on this. But it turns out there's nothing mini about it. It takes a little while to do. So bear with me. There you can see the needle starting to form the shape, and there's that little end of feather fat wood. Now, of course, we're living in more modern off-grid days. A little battery or USB operated, I should say, Dremel will be used. You certainly can go with all carving knives and tools, no doubt about it. But with the invention of solar power and battery packs, there's no need to go full primitive. So there you see shaping. I just drew a little black marker around there, kind of give you an idea of where I'm going with it. It's not really necessary. I just eyeball things. I know if you're selling stuff or if you're really particular, you're not going to want to do that. I don't like to get hung up on that. It ruins the fun of a project, the creativity of a project. You're stressing out over the small things you don't need to be doing. So it's all up to you, personal preference, whether you find that appealing to be meticulous or if you just like to have fun and create something without all the pressure. And that's what I like showing you, is you can do things without feeling pressured to be perfect. Perfection is not the be-all to the end-all. Now, I know I'm going to get some arguments on that, but this is just how it is. If you want to inspire someone, you can't put up all these roadblocks. So here it is, taking a little while to get that started. And the thing about it is you don't want to get too ambitious because you don't want to crack the sides or break the edges, and then you have to start over. So it's not necessarily that pretty, but it's getting the job done. Just helping take out some of the heavier stuff, and then I'll just fine tune it with my little USB Dremel. It's pulling some out. I did have a bigger flake come off, but I stopped it so it didn't go too far out on the side. Just be really careful wear your gloves or keep your hands away. That's the number one rule when you're working. Keep your hands away from the sharp edges. See how I'm holding it way over to the end? I mean, there's still a chance that it could slip, but by the time it gets there, I'm going to pull everything back. Just be careful. We're not in the race. And it's very relaxing. You would not believe how relaxing this is. Just cleaning up some of the debris. Now, I'm doing this all from memory, as you recall from the intro. And the only thing I was doubting was how deep to make the little cut at the very bottom of the needle to hold the thread. I knew that I had to have something there because a flat surface is not going to keep the twine inside. So then I started with the Dremel, trying to break through the holes, and I wanted to smooth the edges. Just going small with small because, again, I don't want to break that middle part of the needle. If I do, then I have to start over. And I want to keep it fairly long because I want to be able to add lots of twine. The only thing is, if you leave it too long, you don't have enough gap to get the threads on. So there I am, just continuing. And this took a little bit of while because I didn't use a very big bit. I didn't want to go too aggressive. You can see my technique, it's not what most people do with a Dremel. I kind of got a little carried away and started going both ways when I should just be really probably only going one way. But it didn't seem to mind it. Certainly on a bigger piece, it's probably that one method of going one way, and with the pressure actually takes out more debris. But I really enjoyed this. It's relaxing. A couple of spots I'm breaking through. You have to be careful because if your bit is small that you use, it will create a hole and then it'll stick. So you have to watch that it doesn't jump on you and ruin the sides of your needle. Getting all the dust out. Anything you like to say to the camera, squirrel? And just smoothing all the edges down. And the wood, actually, it's very smooth. I haven't sanded it yet. And snow splinters, it's working out really good. So if you found likely branches, more than likely in the bush, you would, depending on where you are, if you know, certainly if you had cedar, be easy to split a shake and make one. But it was a fun challenge just to try to do this from memory. Now I know you can buy these needles somewhere. I'll have to look if it's Amazon or not. I'm just used to, on the East Coast, you just go to a fish shop that carries these. Or like Vernon Dion lobster plugs on the South Shore, or in Quebec, they had little shops. Or you would go to the fish plants and they'd have a little shop there and order you stuff in. But I'm creating this from wood, not plastic. Everything went plastic or gauge of some type. You'll know, like the lobster traps that I showed you. My grandfather used to make the wooden ones with the sandstone in the bottom for weight. And the stick for the bait would be a little piece of wood, whittled. But it's all changed now. Just like the snowshoes, from ash and cowhides to aluminum and plastics. I am so stuck in the old age and the old days. That's just me. The old days. I think I was born a little too late, but I am happy. Happy with everything. Maybe that is what it was meant to be. There's not much you can do about it. And I'm grateful one thing that I'm grateful for every day, this project made me think of, is how lucky we are if we still have our memory, our thoughts, our brain functioning, because we really depend on that. So many people suffer from dementia and different things that were brought up from my Hidden Treasures video when I spoke of our elderly being wise about history. And it is true, if they have their memory, they can tell you many stories about things and about traditions and methods and skills from the past that aren't written in books. Tips for gardening, tips for survival. But if their memory is gone or they suffer from diabetes, which will take your brain function, or there's frontal lobe dementia, different types. I know I have cared for someone in those positions. So to be able to remember is a real gift. And sometimes we're so busy with life, we forget that that is such a precious sense that we have. And I'm grateful for it. And this project made me realize how thankful I should be. And I hope that I am blessed with that function of memory and challenge myself as the years continue and I get older. So here you see, I'm continuing on. I'm carving out that bottom just so I can coil the twine. And just giving a little rub here and there because I saw a couple of slivers that may pop out that make it a little uneven. And now, something that I don't usually do, I do on most of my paintings, but on my carvings, I haven't really put a lot of my name. But this one, I'm just going to put the family name on there and keep that. It kind of made me feel good from the memory. Well, I got the Dremel out. Oh, why not? You got to add some fun to it. It's not all got to be practical. And then the year. Took a little longer to do numbers. And I tend not to use templates. And templates are good. I don't discourage you from using them. Maybe it all boils down to I'm just too lazy to. But I feel like it's ruins my creativity. It takes away from what I'm doing. And I probably wouldn't stay in between the lines anyway. I dare to be different. I dare to be unique. So I'm just finishing up those letters, giving it a tap, getting out the dust. That year on there. And the date. The name. Now I'm just getting some more edges off the top. Turning off my Dremel. Just a little tool. And it lasts quite a long time after when it's charged from the sun. Now I'm going to do an attempt to put some twine in there after I clean off the little bits of sawdust. Something very pleasing about carving and chipping away at things. Love my cardinals. They're getting a little worn out, but I don't see any here in the north, so I like looking at them. So now I'm trying to wrap the twine around, and I'm realizing, boy, I really need to get the top of that eye of the needle a little smaller because although it's fitting in, it's going to be cumbersome and I shouldn't have to force it at all. So take away more. I can still take away more. But let's try this for now and see how it goes. Again, it does go on, but I should be thinning that down some more. But for now, it's not too bad. So I'll just take this string and keep on wrapping my needle. First one side, then the other. This, again, all from memory. So I know there are many fishermen out there and many craftsmen that do this for a living on a regular basis and have better methods than I do. But this is my first attempt doing this just from memory, from, like I say, watching my dad up in the old loft of our big boat shed when I was about 10 to 12 years old. And I was, you don't realize when someone takes the time to show interest into you watching them do something or learning from them, what a remarkable difference it can make in someone's life. Now, they may not follow through on doing what you showed them or what they taught you, but it affects you because that was a big moment for me that my father took an interest into the fact that, hey, maybe she wants to know how to do this and help because, she's here, she's watching, she's asking me questions. And he let me try, but I never really pursued it regularly to be good at it. I was more helpful and more interested when I got to the age of 14 and started helping him do gear. We were building longline gear, halibut tubs and groundfish, and I helped make what they call the gaugins, the loops for the hooks and the line, and then I helped put them on the line and the hooks to create the gear. Of course, we didn't put the hooks on right away because we were traveling this gear in a boat all the way from the Gaspé down through Northumberland Strait, through Canso Causeway, and around to South Shore. So we weren't ready. We had to get those materials for the hooks, and we did those when we baited them up, and then they were there. And I learned how to bait gear. So here I am thinking, I got a piece of Dad's old fishing line. It's not lead-based, by the way, so it's going to float. But I thought, can I just wrap this down the side and start testing this needle out? And of course, that's what I did. But I soon learned that I should have thought it more through about how to start the net because I hadn't done it so long. And I don't really remember that part because what Dad was showing me was there was a couple of tears in the net and he was mending it. And Dad used to catch his own bait for his gear and smelts and different things that he used when he was fishing the oceans. So here, as per usual, I have the camera on the wrong side, thinking that it would show you, but you kind of get a little bit of an idea. Of course, that first line's tight because I did it close to the original rope and probably could have left some slack there. It's not really moving a lot, and the sizes of the holes are matching up, but finding that what I'm doing is I'm not paying attention to where I'm making my knot. And it's very important that you make the knot on the top, not let it slip to the bottom. And I was having trouble remembering which side and through what ropes I was supposed to draw the needle in order to put that knot on top. But I felt pretty proud of remembering any of this at all. Now, I just grabbed that stick as a measure, but certainly you don't need it that long. It kind of interferes with the job you're doing. And like I say, skilled fishermen, skilled people at this craft, I know you can do so much better because that's your livelihood and that's your craft. But this is just a girl remembering her dad and trying to do something in his honor. So I'll just have to keep practicing so I get this right. And see, as you can see, I'm struggling with thinking, do I do this? How do I attach it there? Where I should have gone down the side all the way and then caught the eye of each one and made a line. As you can see there, I'm struggling with getting those knots to come right. So I went on and I did this for a while. I made 2 or 3 rows, and it wasn't too bad at all. I mean, I certainly could have caught a fish because I could have cheated and went back with a small piece of twine and half hitched off where it was loose and still caught myself a fish if I was in a desperate situation. But I've learned from this, and now what I have to do is go to Google and practice. Look at some of the more experienced people and see how I can correct that weave. I'm right-handed. Most of the time I do that from the right side. So I was flipping my twine over my hand the wrong side, and then my rope fell from the tree because I didn't have it tied tight enough. You can see there's some attempt there to get it going like a net. So what I'm going to do is look up with Google now and see how I can correct what I've done. Thank you all for watching and taking part in this little demonstration of being grateful for memory, being grateful for someone taking the time to be interested in something we want to do or something they're doing. Share, be happy, don't be pressured. Try it. We all make mistakes, and that's how we learn. Have a great day.